What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on in NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching us. Steven Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. All right, y'all, what is going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Look, I wanted to come in for a few minutes, guys, and I wanted to talk about this 53-man roster, right? Because it's far from being solidified. I don't want to make this seem like this is what we're rolling into week one versus Washington. I think anyone, who's ever watched football for a few years now, we all know that these things are never exactly like how you perceive it. This is not how you go into a game. There's always some changeover following the initial 53. What's up, Y Sway? Stephen Joyce, what's good? Messiah Armstrong, what's good? Jesse Dillon, what's good, man? Show enough, what's good, guys? Sean Jenkins, what's going on, man? All right. So this is what I'm looking at as I look at the Eagles roster. The first thing is it was a little weird to project this stuff this year because of the 16-man expanded practice squad. Now, I don't think every team has to expand their rosters all the way out to, to be 16 players per se on that practice squad, but you can do up to that, which I'm going to take a wild guess. The Eagles are probably going to be at 16 or pretty close to it. Because, we already invited in 8 guys into the building following the cutdown. So, to me, that's just a clear indicator that we're going to go pretty heavy with some of these guys we already had in camp. That first surprise to me came, I projected 4 running backs onto the roster because part of me was still stuck in the way that, having a normal practice squad roster, right? A normal season. And that, you have an offensive line issues. You're probably going to want to rely a little more on your running game. We don't really have a guy that I could say is particularly like a contact balance back. You know what I mean? Like I thought for sure they would probably go 4 running backs there. But because of that expanded practice squad, it appears that I was clearly wrong because they cut not only Elijah Holyfield, not only Mike Warren, but Adrian Killens too. And looks like they're all probably going to be returned to the practice squad, just judging from the visits we had yesterday. That seems like, a no-brainer to me personally. To me, that was the first thing. And if you guys saw that when I made my video, I was truthful, guys. I didn't go back and change it and make it look like I didn't have Elijah Holyfield penciled in. I knew I had him penciled in, man. So I just kind of kept it going because, I knew it was going to throw off the rest of my roster because once a domino like that falls, you made a huge when you make a big misassumption like that, it's going to affect the rest of your roster the way you project it. You know what I mean? So I knew crap, something's going to be going down with the receivers, offensive line, and in the defense that I'm not going to be predicting. The crazy thing is I went 26 defensive players, 24 offensive players. I kind of figured we might go a little heavy in terms of the defense. But what shocked me was we only carried 8 offensive linemen on this original 53. That's going to change, guys. Cordy Glenn has 2 days to clear the COVID stuff. After that 2-day process, which should be today, I think, he will be worked out. And then basically he'll talk with the coaches. You're not going to bring a guy in this year unless you have a pretty good feeling you're going to sign them because it's just too risky. So to me, it would appear that the Eagles have, unless something comes back on the medicals, guys, there's always an if something shows up on the medicals, of course, they wouldn't make that signing. And guys, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, even though I like Cordy Glenn, I think Cordy Glenn is a really good fit for the Eagles. He did have a pretty major concussion last season. So we do have to kind of keep that in mind. There is that kind of hesitation there to make sure that he's fully healthy. But if this kid's fully healthy, he can be a very, very good 6-man off the bench. He could be a very serviceable left tackle, right guard, or right tackle. You could definitely move this guy around to 4 out of the 5 offensive line positions. And I don't necessarily think that we need upfront talent per se on the offensive line. I think we've got the guys that we know are good. We've got our stars there, but we do need guys that can come in and solidify because, right now we're sitting here with absolutely no experience outside of, I think Nate Herbig had maybe 2 snaps or something like that behind everybody. Although I'll be honest with you guys, I do believe in Jack Driscoll's talent. I think that's a guy that if you give him a couple of games into the year, if he had to be forced into action, I think he would surprise people. But still, nonetheless, I do expect that to change about our roster. I want to get in right away to some of the things that shocked me, which number one was Alshon Jeffrey not being placed on the reserve PUP. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a Liz Frank injury before. It hits everybody differently. The hardest part about a Liz Frank injury to me is it's the mental tricks it plays on you. So what ends up happening, like normally, like you have these bones that are kind of like on the top of your foot. If you break those, fracture those, whatever, your mind does some weird things to you when you try to recover from it, guys. Like you have like phantom pains. In addition to having phantom pains, you have like just these weird sensations that kind of come through your foot when you're running. It can really slow you down because of all the mental stuff in your head when you have something like a Liz Frank injury. And I was a little shocked to see Alshon Jeffrey already on the list, even though I think Alshon Jeffrey has done a great job in terms of the rehab. Like he looks a lot, leaner to me. It looks like he really got himself in shape. Things that are going to help, a foot that's not right. But I mean, if you go back to even Jalen Mills, look how long it took Jalen Mills to get over that injury. And like I said, each person is different. Some people really recover quickly from Liz Franks. Other people, like it takes some time, man. Like it's not like a quick turnaround like that normally. That one shocked me a little bit. I definitely thought they were going to put him on the reserve PUP. They didn't. Now, Howie Roseman did allude to the fact that as they hash out the final roster spots because of the new IR rules, and by the way, Alshon Jeffrey doesn't qualify for this, guys, but because of the new IR rules, you can take a player who was not on your PUP list and then IR him on that short-term IR for 3 weeks. So they would basically be out for 3 weeks. If you were to ask me right now as we flip over to the next part of the conversation before I start reading your comments, guys, the next part of the conversation I would flip it to is the defensive players. And one of the guys I would pay particular attention to getting that IR designation that would put him out the first 3 weeks is Will Parks. I have a sneaky suspicion they are going to IR Will Parks, guys. They're going to put him on that short-term 3-week IR designation. That's what I think is going to happen. But speaking of the defense, speaking of Will Parks in particular, I want to talk about what the heck happened on this roster at safety for a moment here, guys, because even in my 53, I was kind of commenting back and forth with some of you guys, and I was like, I had a really hard time picking between Rudy Ford and Marcus Epps. I thought both of them kind of warranted they made their case to be on the roster. Marcus Epps had a phenomenal camp, guys, if you haven't heard. Marcus Epps was having a really, really good camp, guys. Rudy Ford is one of the best gunners, special teams producers in the league. And then Marcus Epps is also a pretty good special teams player himself. Guys like Craig James, a very athletic, very fast guy, got a quick twitch to him. Very good gunner as well. Very good special teams player. Kind of see this theme of some of the guys that made the roster. But I will be honest with you. No way in any reality, and you could have given me 1,000 chances to make my 53-man roster, I would have never projected 6 safeties. I wouldn't have done that. Like, you could have given me 1,000 different opportunities to predict it. I would not have put up 6 safeties, guys. Like, that one definitely caught me by surprise. I do see one other issue here, guys, with our roster currently as it stands, and knowing that this could change. I don't like the way that the front office and the coaching staff hashed out the defensive line. I think they made some mistakes here. I'm not saying Joe Osman is special. I'm saying that Joe Osman gives you more certainty over Casey Toohill right now. And I wanted Casey Toohill on the roster. I think the mistake you make is when you already we have to really, really hope that Derek Barnett is ready for week 1. If not, we got a problem on our hand. Because without Derek Barnett in the game, Jannard Avery certainly won't be ready. And I'd be willing to guess that he could be one of those guys also that receives an IR designation or possibly even a PUP designation. We'll have to see. But here's what I'll say. Look at that roster, guys, right? If Derek Barnett can't play week 1, and I don't know, guys. I mean, we'll know further in the week. By Wednesday, Thursday, we should have an idea. But Brandon Graham, right? Vinny Curry, and then you look at Josh Sweat. I'm comfortable with those 3 guys. Casey Toohill, I like a lot, and I think the kid has a lot of talent. I think he's athletic as crap. But here's the thing, man. This is a rookie who would be your 4th pass rusher right now. Your 4th pass rusher will probably see 10 snaps. He's probably going to get 10 in a heavy game, maybe even 15. And look, I understand that we won't – well, that's not true anymore. When everyone is healthy and everyone's on the field, we won't be utilizing defensive ends to the same – frequency we used them last season because we have a better interior pass rush with more proven established defensive tackles that can rush the passer. I get that argument. It makes 1,000% sense to me, guys. But we're still down Javon Hargrave right now. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I would expect that there's going to be some fluctuation with this right now. I thought that the smart move would have been to have injury waived. You do an injury waiver with Jannard Avery. No one's going to claim a guy that's injured. Okay. Then you sign him back and you can either put him like your IR. And if he's really, I think you could have still put him on your IR designation, like your 3-week designation, right? Or you could have just IR'd him or put him on the reserve PUP, whatever you wanted to do, I think. I think that would have been the smarter move to get this guy where he doesn't count against your cap. Or not against your cap. He still counts against your cap. My bad, guys. Where he doesn't count against your roster. Okay. And then had a guy like, Joe Osman stick around, or Sharif Miller, if you want to lean that way. I was more preferential to Joe Osman, but Osman or Sharif Miller, I think would have done. Although Osman's been in camp a lot longer. He's been around a little bit more, and he showed a lot more in camp. Although I thought Sharif Miller didn't do anything necessarily horrible in camp, guys. I thought he, looked, if Sharif Miller had the camp he had this year, last season, I think we would feel differently about him. But he's gone. He's definitely gone. He might be one of the guys they bring back to the practice squad because I do believe he is eligible for that. Linebackers, we kept 6 linebackers. A little shocking. I mean, that's not like ridiculously shocking, but just judging the amount of base package we play, you know what I'm saying? That's shocking to me. What's up, Mike? What's going on, man? Stopping in here. Let me stop everything real quick to say, what's up, Mike? Appreciate you, bro. Yes, guys. Just so y'all know, an announcement I forgot to make because I was so into this conversation, I just dove right into it is I'm doing this today at 11 o'clock to get you guys ready for the season, because from 11 to about 12:15-ish, you know what I'm saying, during the season, we will do the pregame show, okay? So we'll have a pregame show for you guys, all right? Appreciate you, Mike. You're my guy, bro. So here's the way I look at this, guys, with the linebackers. One of the, Alex Singleton is probably very likely, or one of the younger guys are likely to kind of get axed possibly as we make more roster moves. I do think that is a possibility if we don't actually move somebody to an injury designation that would clear space. Okay. I just want to say that because that's a part of it too. Okay. I think that could happen, but Alex Singleton is known for special teams production, and the youth that's at the linebacker core, I think they feel more, like comfortable with having someone here who has experience, even though most of his experience is really the CFL, but he played a little bit last year in our system. So he does have some experience, guys. So that does make sense in some extent. Certainly I didn't project it personally. I do know people that did project it though. Can't remember if it was either Jalen Williams or Takeem Hilton, one of those two, when I was talking back and forth to them, they definitely had projected him on, man. Then we get to cornerbacks, and this is the last thing before I'll start reading some of the comments, guys. So, cornerbacks. Wow. Am I shocked the Eagles decided to move on from both Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas? Yes and no. No, into the fact that, we're not talking about special talents here. I thought Sidney Jones has all the fundamental tools to be something special, but if you're not on the football field, it doesn't do any good. I mean, you can be as talented as you want to be. If you ain't on the field, it don't do any good. It doesn't matter. That's a problem. I think that's what did Sidney Jones in. I think we all know that. Rasul Douglas to me was a little more surprising because if you're talking about having depth outside, because let's face it. If someone comes up with a lame hamstring in one of these first couple of games, I'm not too sure we have an answer right now to go outside. I mean, I would assume that they would either take their chances with Craig James, Cravon LeBlanc, who I love Cravon LeBlanc, but I don't think he has the requisite speed to play outside, guys. He's a 4.6 40 guy. He's not fast. And then you got, you got Nickel Roby-Coleman, the slot guy. And he has been getting some reps outside, but he's not ideal either. I thought because of that, they might give Rasul Douglas a look, because Rasul Douglas, to be fair, when I track special teams production, and some of you guys, if you're not very familiar with me, one thing is, man, I track everything, guys. I get ridiculous with this stuff because, I don't know, I got no life and football takes it over sometimes, guys. But to be honest, when I was looking at special teams production and the guys that were contributed in the playoff game last year, what I did see was that when I looked over the list of the players that were in on things, I did notice that Rasul Douglas was way more of a contributor than Sidney Jones. I mean, Rasul Douglas was definitely on the field goal block unit, and then he was also on the kickoff return unit. Sidney Jones played some special teams here and there, but he wasn't anything that good, and he wasn't as big a contributor as Rasul Douglas. And I thought that might hold Rasul Douglas on the roster. Not that I'm crying over that spilt milk, guys, like whatever, but it does shock me because it makes us incredibly we lack depth. For a lack of better words here, I can't find them, guys. We lack depth on the outside corner position right now. That can change, guys. People are getting cut. A veteran could come down. There might be a guy that maybe Markin Manuel has a preference to from his coaching years. You know what I mean? Like something like that could be coming down, but you know what I'm saying? Like definitely shocked me, guys. I'm not going to lie. All right. Let me go up here and read some of these comments, guys, because I know you guys have probably put in 1,000 comments at this point, and I'm going to be like trying to speed read and see what's going on with everybody. So I left off at Sean's comment. Let me go to Kevin. What's good, man? Harlem Cowboy. What's good? Kevin Cronin. Guys, it's been a busy week, guys, with the Battlebirds podcast crew, guys. It's been a busy week, man. Reese is out there doing his thing. I don't want my guy get into any kind of car wrecks trying to chime in. Mike's driving back from something too, guys. I just agreed because I'm already at the crib to just kind of come on for an hour or so with you guys and start us off 1 week before, the season with this pregame type stuff. So that way we'll have it. Yes, Jack, we live, bro. We are live, guys. The Biggie 86. You feel like they're going to rush Alshon back? Hopefully, that's my fear too, the Biggie 86, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But the Eagles are really weird when it comes to injuries. I don't even know what to think when it comes to injuries in Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh, Robbie LaCour said, is there a possibility Brandon Brooks could potentially play this season? 100% there's a possibility. It won't be before later in the season, maybe even the playoffs, but the Eagles definitely seem to have a weird belief system that he's coming back. And just judging how fast he came back from the last Achilles injury, possibly. But, there's a big discussion around that too, though, Robbie, because I think someone could counter with a legitimate argument and say, like, hey, Steve, but do you think that maybe him coming back so fast from that Achilles injury may have put, because maybe he was just them putting way too much work, way too much pressure on the other foot. And I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV, guys. No clue on that one. That's what I would love to do, guys. I would love to actually get this channel to be large enough to maybe we can command enough attention and get people that work within sports science and physical therapy to maybe come in and talk to us about some of this stuff, man. I would love to do that because I'm a dude with 1,000,001 questions. So I would definitely pick someone's mind like that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to have someone come in who actually specializes in that stuff and talk about things like that. Do you think Quez Watkins will be a number one receiver? Cameron Holmes. Here's my thing, man. I guess you have to define to me what you mean by number one receiver. Do I think he could lead a team in receptions? Possibly, man. He's got a good skill set. When I look at Quez Watkins, okay, and I'm not trying to say that this kid is already on par with these two players, but his game, the way he plays the game and the skill set he has, it's eerily familiar to me to a Darius Slayton and a Terry McLaurin. I'm not going to say Quez Watkins is that type of player yet because those guys really balled out last year and they deserve their just dues. But that's who he reminds me of. So could he be a number one? Potentially. I'm old school, guys. I mean, when I think number one receiver, I think boundary side receiver, X receiver, a big possession guy, third down conversion guy. That's what I think when I think number one receiver. But the game is modernizing and it's changing. I mean, you can make an argument who's the number one receiver on the Chiefs. I mean, could you make an argument it's Tyreek Hill? And that would be a very non-traditional thing. Yeah, so Jack saying that, how he said if anyone can come back and play this year, it would be Brandon. Yeah, I think they're hopeful, man. I definitely think they're hopeful, but you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Sean, that's a possibility. If JJ balls out, they might use Alshon here and there, but I think that would be more as a trade bait kind of thing. I think that ultimately what the Eagles want to do is they want to be able to move that contract because it saves them so much money. I kept trying to tell people all year long that I didn't think they would move Alshon's contract just because when you looked at what the cap casualty and the penalty on that would be, but then they changed the rules around it because of the COVID crisis to where like Alshon's like cap numbers went from like 26 million in dead money to 16 million. And then if they gave him a June 1st designation, they could split that 16 million over 2 years. So you're already saving 10 million plus the 2-year span thing. So like, then I was kind of like, I don't know, man. That's a little questionable. But look, at this point, I think it's safe to say that the only way they're going to move on from Alshon this year would be through trade. That's what it seems like to me. Jack says he wants Alshon to ball out. I want anyone that touches the field for the Eagles to ball out, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? Like right away. What's up, Eagles Clips? What's good, Eagles season? Sam, the artist formerly known as S4L. I have the sneaking suspicion that Alshon Jeffrey is on the 53-man roster, so they can trade him. You're going right in where I was going, man. Right away, rather than waiting for him to get healthy and hoping it's before the trade deadline. Yeah, good take, man. It's a good take. Ooh, Sam. All right, let me pull this one up, guys. This is a hot take. Let me pull this one up. All right, Sam. Sam said, also, I am willing to bet J.J. Arcega-Whiteside leads the team in receptions and touchdowns. For receivers only? For receivers only, Sam? Because I would say that Zach's still there, man. But I definitely think that I think JJ is going to have at least look, man, if JJ can come in here and give me 35, 40 receptions, 400 or 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, I would consider that a massive upgrade of what we got from last year. Do I want more than that from JJ? Of course, man. Like, those are so pedestrian, it's not funny. But at least pedestrian means productivity. Like, last year if he repeats what he did last year, it's over. Like, then it's all done. JLU said, hey, Gate, the Sidney Jones experiment is over finally. Yeah, like I said, when I predicted my 53-man roster, JLU, I left him off of it. And I was pretty high on, you guys know, you can go back and look at my videos, and you can see I was pretty high on the talent level of Sidney Jones. But there was always that part that you always have to say when you talk about Sidney Jones, if healthy, if he's not in a zone system. I saw someone the other day writing about Sidney Jones having a better shot and better luck in a zone system. I'm like, did you watch film of Sidney Jones in zone? There's a reason why I had a saying, and that saying was, when Sidney Jones is thinking, Sidney Jones is stinking. Like, there's a reason why I had that saying. He was horrible in zone. He's a much more natural mover and a much more fluid defender in man coverage. But he's been injured, guys. I mean, it sucks, man, but what can you do? Leon said, I'm not a fan of losing Sharif. I knew there would be a few of you guys that weren't big fans of losing Sharif Miller because obviously him being a Penn State product, obviously a large probably percentage of you guys being around the Pennsylvania area. I kind of figured that, guys, but it looked like he was close to kind of making it, but not really close to making it at the same time. It's kind of weird. Miller didn't do. I'm not going to say that, Maniac Matt. I'm trying to do the best I can not to get demonetized on this one. Sydney is in the same boat too. Well, I disagree with you on that one, Maniac Matt. Sidney was only in that boat because he didn't get on the field enough. However, when Sidney got on the field for practices, just know that he did shut down Deshaun Jackson on a series. So it's practice. Can Sidney shut down Deshaun in a game? Come on, bro. No. But he's fluid. He's a fluid mover like that. My opinion, Sidney Jones will get picked up by somebody. He will get worked out. He might even turn into a success story, but it's kind of like, to me, it's not the same thing as Nelson Aguilar, but it is. I don't think Nelson Aguilar is necessarily a bad player. I think he's one of the better slot receivers in the league. Nelson Aguilar's time in Philly was just done, guys. It was just time to move on. For both parties, it was unhealthy. You had to move on. I kind of feel like that's where we got with Sidney Jones. Because he missed his time in camp and he wasn't on the field, he wasn't competing. You had this whole new, secondary coach in there. You got a whole new difference in belief in the philosophy of things. It just became time to move on from Sidney. That's why I left him off my 53 too. What up, Drew? How you doing, man? Oh, we're going to have a pregame. We bring in the beer. Funny, Jack. Nighthurt said, sorry, guys. Nighthurt, my bad, guys. It jumped on me in the chat. Oh, I got to read faster, apparently. This is the chat's way of telling me to read quicker. What's up, Eagles fam? We just got 1 week left for the season to start. I can't wait. I'm so ready. Let's go, Birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%, man. Did the Eagles sign Cordy Glenn? So, no, the way this works, guys, with Cordy Glenn, anytime you bring a player in for this season, for 2 days, 48 hours, they have to go through COVID testing. So he hasn't even been worked out yet, nor has he met with the organization. I think that's all supposed to happen today. So we should probably know by tomorrow at the latest, maybe even today. We should know by tomorrow at the latest, like what's going on with Cordy Glenn. My guess is, unless something comes back from the medical, Drew, he's probably going to be on the roster. They're probably going to sign him because it's so time consuming to bring somebody in right now. You can't do it all in one day. So because of that, because you got to go through all these COVID policies and procedures that, delay 48 hours, You bring a guy in, clearly there's serious interest. You know what I mean? Like, it just really probably depends on what they find out about his medicals. He can never really get healthy, bro. Yeah, Maniac Man, I agree, man. Health was his biggest issue. You know, and it's sad because I always feel like he's gonna be one of those guys that if he ever gets it together and can get through the, you know, the little nagging, lingering stuff and can stay remotely healthy, he's one of those guys that like he can go on to shine somewhere else, and it would be frustrating as Eagle fans. But I think they made the right decision to move on from Sidney Jones. Like, because like, look, he clearly lost that camp battle. Are you going to keep a guy as your third or fourth outside corner that can't play special teams? It just doesn't make sense. Like, I knew Sidney Jones was cooked toast. The Rasul Douglas one surprised me a little more because I thought Rasul Douglas had a little more utility to him. Although you guys heard me when I did Brunson's Dream, I said you never heard of the Rasul Douglas rule. That's where you got to give the cornerback a 2 Mississippi head start before the receiver runs. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Why people hate Rasul Douglas cut? He not even better than Darby. Why Sway? I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's up for debate on the Darby thing. Darby is a much faster and fluid mover than Rasul Douglas, like no doubt about that. But Darby's not a special teams player either. Like Rasul Douglas at least has the versatility to play. He's physical against the run. Like Rasul did have some use to him. Now, can you make an argument that the Eagles are crazy for ever considering Rasul Douglas to be an outside corner? Absolutely. I kept saying that I thought he was more of a safety candidate, or even better than that, a nickel. I thought he was more of a nickel guy, big, strong guy that can run. Especially if you got guys with big nickels, it makes sense to use a guy like that. The problem is with the Eagles, when you look at the Eagles and this idea I'm having right now about playing Rasul as a big nickel, well, look at who you got as your nickels. I mean, you got, Avante Maddox could bounce inside it if need to be, right? I mean, you got the slot guy, Nickel Roby-Coleman. You got, I mean, just keep going down the list of the guys we got here. You got safeties that can kick in, right? You got Cravon LeBlanc that can kick in and play. Like, it was a numbers crunch to me when it came to that one. What's up, Lenny D? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you, Lenny. Who would you say? Okay, so Philly Fan D said, who would you say the surprise player is that made it? Surprise player that made it. Rudy Ford, probably. I think you go with Rudy Ford and Marcus Epps on either one of those. I think it would make some sense. I think Casey Toolhill is definitely one that you could say that with. Let me think, guys, as I go through the guys in my head here. I don't think there was really a lot of surprises on the offensive side of the ball. I think all those guys were they were layup predictions. Alex Singleton, Casey Toolhill, Rudy Ford, Marcus Epps, I think they were the more bottom of the roster guys, and then Craig James being the fifth guy. I predicted Craig James on. I predicted Marcus Epps on. I predicted Casey Toolhill on. I left off Alex Singleton, but I won't go Alex Singleton just because Alex Singleton was on this roster last year and played. You know what I mean? Like a little less of a surprise, even though it is a surprise. For me, I'm going to say Rudy Ford, man. I'm going to stick with Rudy Ford, even though I think Rudy Ford had a shot the entire time because he's a really good special teams player. And Rudy Ford is fast, guys. He's got real speed. Philly for Life said Jalen Reagor could return week 2. I hope so. That would be pretty ideal, Philly for Life, if Jalen Reagor could return week 2. I'm not going to put a timeline on it because I don't know. I've definitely dealt with an injury like that before, but when you deal with those type of injuries, that has to deal with like a tear kind of in the ligament. It depends on like the nature of the tear, how deep it is, where exactly it is. So much variance goes into that, guys. But I've definitely suffered that exact injury myself before. The Bull Philly said Jay Child to do that is far-fetched. I don't want to say it's far-fetched, the Bull, but I wouldn't bet my money on it, right? I definitely wouldn't take my own money and wait. I wouldn't gamble that. Brad Rice says, I want a linebacker that the whole league recognizes. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it, man? I saw someone said, bro, how did we cut? And let me go back up to it, guys. I'm sorry. It's jumping on me, guys. Man, come on now. Where did it go? Bro, how we cut Shelton Gibson. Bro, like, here's the thing with Shelton Gibson, man. Given the numbers crunch, like, come on. But I get your joke, man. It's funny. Shelton Gibson was a heck of a special teams producer. Although I will admit, when I was watching the Seattle game, I was watching the left side gunner. So like our left side watching the screen, but offensive left. It was funny because like I was like looking like, dude, who is that guy getting like mugged on the sideline out there by by the two gunner blockers? And of course, it was Shelton Gibson. Drew, I don't know if they signed Cordy Glenn or not yet, just because I kind of jumped on here, right around the time that the workouts and stuff will be happening. But by the time I had come on here, it hadn't happened quite yet. But like I said, there's a 48-hour window because of the COVID testing. Once they clear the 48-hour window of the COVID testing, then today they can run him through workouts, sit down and talk to the coaching staff about him, and then he can sit down and talk to the front office with his agent basically about contract stuff. So, although I will admit, they're that serious about him, they probably have some kind of preliminary contract stuff already set up. Like normally by this point, that stuff's already those talks have already pretty much happened. When will the practice squad list come out? That can officially happen today. They can officially do that around 12 o'clock today. They can start forming the practice squad. Stephen Joyce, yeah, I'm playing fantasy football with, I'm in Mike's league. The Bulls said, Sharif is from my neighborhood. I watch him play his whole life from Pee Wee to playing in high school. Honestly, his getting caught up and being lazy, he's starstruck, and I know him personally. Yeah, you know him better than I do, man. I've never met the guy. Jack, I'm a very entertaining person. Yeah, Wife's Way, you got it. He should meet with him today. I don't think we're trading for Odell Beckham, guys. Donnie Beck, me too, bro. Waiting on the season, man. Waiting on the season to happen, man. Philip Lewis. Okay, this is a good one, man. Will our Birds sign another running back? Especially with Miles dinged up at the moment and with Corey's injury history. Besides, we are fairly light in the backfield as Corey is the biggest back we have. Absolutely. So I definitely think that that's a possibility. I can't say it's 100% certainty just because this season has been so freaking weird with stuff. But I think we need a contact balance back. Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. In short spurts of time, can Boston Scott be a short bounce back? Yeah, I mean, guys sleep on how big Boston Scott is. Like, he's not a tall guy, but being like 5'6", 200 pounds, man, that's a bowling ball. He's a straight bowling ball coming at you with speed. Here's my problem, though. This is why I would still, like Philip Lewis, to get to your point, this is why I would still go seek a veteran running back. If something were to happen, knock on wood, if something were to happen, okay, to Miles Sanders, who in the world is taking over the majority of the handoffs? Like, it would be a problem. That's why personally I would go get a veteran contact balance back. There's no interest in AP that's been reported. Of course, I think AP already signed anyways with the Detroit Lions, so clearly that's not going to happen. But I'm pretty sure we're scanning the waiver wires looking for somebody. Philip, like right now I have absolutely no name on the top of my head. I wouldn't be shocked to see some trade kind of stuff happening. You know how Howie is with the trades. I know that Howie's been on the kick recently about not losing picks. But if you're talking about a, low round pick, 4th round or below for someone who can be very serviceable, preference being 5th, 6th, 7th round. To be honest, I really wouldn't want to lose a 4th rounder on a guy that's a in case of emergency break player, but still. Wiseway said, if we do have to sign another corner, do you think we trade for one or just try and just look at cornerback waiver rules? It depends on when that move would take place, Wiseway. So right now, I think we would look at the waiver wire and see who gets cut, right? See if there's a preference of a guy out there. The problem is if you try to trade for a corner, that's going to cost you, right? Because what are you looking for? Like, what talent level are you looking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that could cost you, man. That could definitely cost you like a valuable pick. I don't know. I mean, my preference would be towards the waiver wire to see what comes down. We're really looking for a third guy that can be serviceable. I think the Eagles have some faith that Craig James can do it. I don't want to say Craig James can't do it because I just haven't had an opportunity to watch enough film of Craig James. He just really wasn't being shown in camp like that, guys. So without really seeing film on him, I can't really say. But I can tell you this, if he gets in games, which he should get in games right now, just given the stakes of everything. I will definitely be breaking down film on how he's playing. Like, he's a guy I'm going to be watching closely to see if he's that guy or not. The other potential thing I hear people say is about moving. You could take and you could reshuffle things, and you could take a guy like, Jalen Mills and bouncing back outside. I thought Brunson did a good job explaining that, which is like, yeah, but once again, we're running into a JP type situation where you paid a guy to be a guard, you paid a guy to be a safety, and now you're asking him to bounce outside a corner. People do have to be realistic that those are different pay rates. And that is a real thing. Now, we can all say, like I said, I agree that Jason Peters should be paid more. Like, that's not a fair, like, trying to say that the kid should make. And by the way, if you look at the total money in the contract, he's making less than Isaac Seumalo to play right guard. We got Jason Peters at a phenomenal discount, guys. So I do differ with people's opinion on that a little bit. I just differ, like, in terms of Peters, I don't think he should have handled it publicly. And I don't know if it was him or his agent or, who knows. Maybe he said something in private to a beat writer and then they just put it out there. I don't know how it all came out, but I wish he would have just went to the front office and be like, hey, guys, I'll help you out. But look, man, I'm not doing it for $3 million. Like, that's just not reasonable. They probably could have easily worked something out with him to defer or not defer, but to take, $1 to $2 million of, like, incentive based contract stuff and rolled it into guaranteed money for him. I'm pretty sure, or rolled it into base salary. I'm pretty sure they could have figured out a way to do that. Right now, though, if you look at a guy like, my bigger concern is not even contract wise with someone like, Jalen Mills bouncing outside. It's Kevon Wallace. I love him. He's going to be ready at some point, but he's not ready right now. Right. Marcus Epps, I like him. If Marcus Epps was filling in at free safety, I'd be much more comfortable, right? Then you got Rudy Ford. I think you almost have to kind of wait till Will Parks gets back to make a move like that, in my opinion. I think that would be really risky. Yeah, you want a linebacker? I hear you, man. I hear you, Brad. I don't think, it's hard for me to comment on it, Brad, because I grew up in a different generation than a lot of people did. And the generation I grew up in, linebacker was a much more respected position. It had a much more prominent place because, people used a lot more heavy sets. But, those days are gone, man. I the days that I grew up in where stuff like that was happening, man. It's just a different game, guys, with the sub packages and 3 receiver sets, 11 personnel. Like, what I'm saying? Like, it's a completely different, it's a different world, Brad. It's just a different world, Brad, right? I think some of this is just me being older, looking at the game as a 37-year-old through the eyes of a 37-year-old, not a 20-year-old now. The guys that are, primarily came up watching the late 2000s into, the early 2010s period, they probably see the game a lot differently in the linebacker position because of the expansion of 11-man personnel. Philip Lewis said, I think Douglas will get a look at strong safety with the ball skills he has and the physicality he brings. His fatal flaw with cornerback was his force. Yeah, Philip Lewis, I agree, man. Yeah, it's a pretty good take. Philip Lewis said, new subscriber, by the way. Found you on the Dream Team chat yesterday. Great content you bring. Keep it up. I appreciate you, Philip Lewis. Thank you, sir. Kevin, man, what is the deal with you and Philly girl, man? What's going on here, man? All right. Jack said, isn't Rager injury about the same Alshon played through the year of the Super Bowl? Yeah, pretty much, Jack. I don't know if it's the same exact injury because Alshon's did require surgery, but pretty much, it's in a very similar location. I don't know the extent and how much variance there is to the extent of the injury between the two players, but yeah, pretty much. Philip said, as far as wide receiver, I hope we can bring back Burnett to the practice squad. He was killing it in camp this year. So he is, he's in the building, Philip. So he was in the building yesterday. So I think that there's a good chance that here in about, within the next hour, we'll probably learn that Burnett is on the practice squad, I think. I do think that Howie made a calculated move to cut some of these guys early. And that probably helped us clear waivers for a few guys. So here's the problem I have with this, though, guys, is like you clear waivers now. But what happens in season when other teams start sustaining injuries? Some of the guys you wanted, because, like Howie had a rough job. The front office had a rough job. Doug and the coaching staff had a really rough job this year because of all the injuries. The injuries complicate 53-man rosters. They do, right? Just to be straightforward. The injuries straight up, they complicate things. But, yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I hope Burnett can stick around too, man, because I do think that Burnett could be useful. I think that he makes sense as a guy that can easily come in and pick up the offense quickly and be a guy that kind of keeps us afloat if we need him to for a few games. Jason Wall, what's good, my guy? He said Rasul was like dating a great girl with a good heart, but she just wasn't hot. Sid was like a hot chick that didn't care. Alshon is like the toxic girl that it's mostly great, but the fights are too much. Jason with the life analogies. What's good, Troy Singleton? How you doing, guy? Jack said, Jason Wall, you need to check out the crazy hot meter. Y'all funny, man. Y'all funny today. What's the deal with Alshon drama? Do you think he will be locked in mentally with the news we tried to shop him? Hey, Philip, I was thinking that myself. I was thinking that, Philip. I really was. Like, how does he feel? I think it depends on how the organization handled it with Alshon. Did they sit Alshon down and say, hey, man, you were very instrumental in 2017, dude, and we owe you. And here's the deal. We got this young receiving core. Your contract just doesn't make sense for us following the season. Like, we're going to try to put you in a better situation with a team that needs the veteran presence. If they handle it that way, I think Alshon will be fine. If this was done behind the scenes and Alshon's just hearing about it from news reports, yeah, man, I think you could have a point, Philip. That could be problematic. Troy said, I hope they sign Glenn because I don't trust Pryor or Mulata. Troy, I'll say it one more time, guys, for everybody. The best case scenario to me is the Eagles and Jason Peters work this thing out. And you move Jason Peters to left tackle, and then you move Matt Pryor back to right guard, where I think Matt Pryor is a very, very good football player. Then I think you sign a guy like Cordy Glenn to be the sixth man, right? We know that at some point, it's likely that Lane Johnson or even Jason Peters goes down for a stretch of time. Having a guy like Cordy Glenn that can come in and cover 4 out of 5 offensive line positions, it makes a lot of sense, man. If Cordy Glenn is our left tackle, yeah, he's an upgrade. He's an upgrade at left tackle over Mulata. He's an upgrade at left tackle, over Matt Pryor. You slide him in at right guard, I think it's a push. I don't know that I would say Cordy Glenn is necessarily an upgrade over Matt Pryor at right guard. I think Matt Pryor was very good at right guard last year, but he at least backs you up if you have further injuries there, right? He's someone that could be serviceable, and you still have Jack Driscoll that could play too there, right? I think the signing makes a lot of sense. I think it would definitely help the Eagles. It's hard to predict things, guys. This is a weird year with COVID stuff, guys. It's really hard to predict things right now. So Robbie said, when relatively healthy, we have a chance to compete and make a run in the postseason. 100%, man. 100%. You know what? I keep forgetting this, guys, so when you upload lives, the first, sometimes it's like the first day, the chat won't load with the live. So I need to be better about pulling your chats up on the screen for people that are watching this not live. My bad, guys. I normally got Mike here to. I forgot about doing that because it's been so long since I've had to do it. All right. So let me start now. The Bull Philly said, do we have any backup linebackers? Depends on your perspective, the Bull. Alex Singleton could be a backup, no doubt about it. I think Sean Bradley could be a backup, but it's a lot of projection with Sean Bradley. I mean, he's still a rookie at the end of the day, but I think he has the mentality to do it. It's a tough situation to Bull. I wasn't as concerned about the linebackers until Will Parks went down. Now I'm more concerned about the linebackers. Like that one definitely kind of now you're reshaping what you mean, how you play the nickel defense. You're reshaping how much you might be in base. Not that you're going to go drastically a base formation, but you might play a couple more snaps now in base because of that. So, that's a big deal, man. All right, Jack said, I think if we were going to sign a back, we had our chance with Fournette and Peterson. I still think we should have held on to Howard. He was very productive and just can't seem to stick with a team. Yeah, Jordan Howard, I liked a lot, and I would have loved to have Jordan Howard back. I really hate that the conversations broke down. $5 million, yeah, was it a little high? Sure. Still think Jordan Howard was worth it. Coach, is Casey Toolhill good? Deep question, Drew. He's a little undersized, even though he put some weight on. Fluid mover. He's fast. He's athletic as crap. Does he have the understanding of the defense? That's my concern, Drew. Is this kid he's He's legitimately your fourth right now. Your fourth defensive end due to injuries. Like, I would have kept Joe Osman on this roster. Maybe Joe Osman comes back up through the practice squad and is one of those the guys they put on 55 and bring him in. Is that 55-man roster designation and the 48 active guys you can have. So maybe they do that with Osman until we get Avery or, until Derek Barnett is ready to go. Because being the fifth to being the fourth guy, that's a difference in snaps. Like, it's concerning, Drew. It is concerning, even though I do think the kid is talented. Jack said, who wants to hold on to picks? Oh, Howie. I think he said Howie wants to hold on to picks, but if he can find value, he will pull the trigger. Yeah, pretty much. Jake, really? Jake from State Farm. We have most of our draft picks on the roster. Yeah, everyone but Prince Tega, basically. I didn't understand that one. I thought Prince Tega did a good. Yeah, I know Prince Tega is a bit of a development, but just think about this. We put Mulata on the roster in 2018. I mean, he didn't stick around, but he was on the initial roster. Like, that one shocks me a little bit with Prince Tega. I guess they have a good feeling he's not going to get claimed, but I'm going to tell you, offensive tackles scare me when it comes to claims. Brett Toth, the guy we had last year, I think he was like an Army and Marine guy. Remember? Then he came in to the Eagles. We got the clearance for him. We had him in here. We went to put him on the practice squad, and the Cardinals claimed him on us. Like that. Those ones always scare me, guys. Those ones always scare me, but we'll find out pretty soon if he made it through. Sonny, how you doing, man? Sorry, guys. When the chat jumps, like it's really jumping on me now because, yeah, this is one of these things we need to have. I might have to have some of you guys as moderators come on here now if I can't get the guys on. Howie said he might bring Douglas back. I don't understand. So, Mad Hatter, to be honest with you, they changed some rules this year when it comes to the practice squad. I heard Howie say that don't rule out veterans on the practice squad. Traditionally, there's a limit to what you can do in terms of your practice squad. Like, you can't put a guy that started 16 games there. You can't put a guy that's been in the league for so many years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there were like rules to that. And I'm assuming because of the COVID crisis and what's going on, they expanded the rules. But yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. That's a possibility, Matt Hatter. I guess we'll find out. We'll see if he gets claimed first. I mean, he's got to pass claims first. I have lost faith in Howie when it comes to drafting players. Troy, it's a complex situation when it comes to the drafting issues we've had. Listen, I will never sit here like a fool and try to convince you that what happened in 2017 was a good thing. It was not a good thing in terms of the draft. Like, we made a lot of mistakes. Our talent evaluation was really off. Like, we missed several running backs. We missed on several running backs for Donnell Pumphrey. Okay. Not even going to try to, whoever was in charge of scouting for that, they made some serious mistakes. Fast forward to 2019 draft. We can look at receiver. JJ has an opportunity to be serviceable. I don't want to crap on JJ or think of Whiteside because I want this kid to succeed in the Eagles, in an Eagles uniform. And I want him to be what the Eagles envisioned him. But I'm here to tell you, as a guy that has, I've coached football I've got more than 6-7 years in the game, guys, coaching. Don't get me wrong. By no means am I an old head when it comes to coaching, but I've been around these guys, been around players. I evaluate talent too. Anyone trying to sell me that JJ was a better prospect than DK Metcalf need to have their eyesight. Their eyesight needs to be checked, guys. I can't even get the words out. I'm so frustrated about that pick. But yeah, Troy, there's a whole lot going on there. A lot of it has to do with their college scouting department. We made some changes this year, and I think that's why we're going to get better results. We brought in former players to help us with that, and that seems to have paid a little dividend here. Cordy Glenn will be signed after his COVID testing clears. Bobby Murphy, that's what it seems like. Jeez, I already forgot to pull your comments back up again, guys. My bad. Yeah, that's what it seems like. It looks like to me that 48-hour period for the COVID test, then he can do the workouts. Following the workouts, he would sit down with Howie Roseman and the coaching staff, and then they would work it out. As long as his medicals come back clean. That's the other side of it. Troy, I don't agree with that take, man. I'll bring it up for you, but JP needs to take one for the team. I don't agree with that. We have paid him well over the years. He needs to stop being greedy. Let me show you something. Let me screen share something to you guys about JP's contract, so you can see where I'm coming from this perspective and why I just don't agree with this. Like number one, JP he is doing something for the team. His contract, it's crazy low, guys. Like he's not making that much money, guys. He definitely took a very, very team-friendly deal, guys. Like he's not eating us up in the salary. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to pull up my tabs that I've closed recently. And I have a contract breakdown that shows you when you look at the total money guaranteed in the contract, where he ranked and just how much of an actual like discount he has given the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. I think once people can see this information, I think it makes it a lot easier to understand like why Jason Peters, like I said, I don't agree with the way he handled the situation. He should have done it in private, but I definitely understand where in the heck he's coming from. Like I don't think he's necessarily being unreasonable with what he's telling people. So I'm going to go to the Spot Tracks NFL salary rankings, guys. And I'll show you a couple things I'm seeing here, guys. So to begin with, let's go over, and I'll share the screen with you in 1 second, guys. Let's go over to guards. All right. I'm going to go over to, I'm going to filter by total cash in the contract. All right. And I'll share my screen with you guys. That way you guys can see it. Okay. So give me 1 second. Let me go back to StreamYard and I'll share the screen. You guys can see exactly what I'm seeing and what I'm talking about. Share screen. Tab. All right. Share. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys can see this because it's taking me to the screen so I can't see. I just want to show you guys how much of a deal Jason Peters is giving the Philadelphia Eagles, because I think the entire conversation is a little flawed. All right. We look at guards. Your highest paid guard in terms of the total cash in the contract is Brendan Sharif at $15 million. Okay. If you guys want me to scroll slowly, I'll scroll slowly so that way you can see the actual, like, the players. So you got Graham Glasgow, Joe Tooney, Andreas Pete, Eric Flowers, Zach Martin, Brandon Brooks, Ali Marpet, Roger Saffold, Kevin Zeitler, Gabe Jackson, right? Let me keep scrolling down, guys, just to show you. He took a really, really friendly deal, guys. Look at Isaac Sulumalu, by the way, 29th, before Peters, guys, 3.9. Let's keep going down. All right. Brian Winters right now is at $3 million. Okay. So between 35 and 36. Okay. They don't classify Peters this way because of his previous experience. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Peters' contract. So now you guys can see what Jason Peters' total money is in his contract. And then you can see where he would rank. Okay. And that way it'll be an easy way of showing you guys this, right? So I want you to remember the numbers here between 36 and 35. You got Elijah Wilkinson, 3.259. And you got Brian Winters at $3 million. All right, guys, I'm going to go to a different share screen for you, and then I'll go through it and I'll show you Jason Peters, the money, guys. All right, so stop screen, share screen. Sorry, guys, one more second. Jason Peters contract. All right, guys, come over here where you see where it says cash details, yearly cash. 3.125 million, guys. 36th amongst guards. 36th. He's being paid less than Isaac Sulumalu. Jason Peters has done the right thing by the organization. I would argue the organization now needs to do the right thing beside Jason Peters if you're going to ask him to play left tackle, because I do think he's justified in asking for more money. Deshante Dupree, what's good, my guy? Montarius Clay said, "Sup, legend, I had to find you and subscribe. I'm already loving your content. I am sub to other guys, but I'm definitely glad I found you." Appreciate you, Montarius. When will Glenn be signed? Hopefully, we'll find out something by tomorrow, guys. I wouldn't have automatically assumed he's going to be signed, but the probability is very high. We're just not going to invite guys in and then not sign them. You know what I mean? Sam, the artist formerly known as S4L. I haven't really researched the new practice squad rules as far as the second player that can jump to the roster, but I kind of think Howie is banking on bringing Killins and Holyfield or Warren back. Absolutely. He already has them in the building, Sam. He's got them all in the building. What's up, Jalen? How you doing, buddy? We just been talking about like some of the stuff on the roster, man. We talked about, so for a recap for you guys coming in late of like where the topic is gone, we've talked about everything from what I thought were some of the surprises on my roster to what I thought was some of the surprise guys who made the roster. My apprehension at the defensive end position, having Joe Osman basically going into week 1 as possibly your 4th pass rusher if Derek Barnett is not ready to go. Like we kicked around a little bit about other topics revolving around the Eagles, talking about the offensive line, Cordy Glenn. When we hear something about Cordy Glenn, I explained the COVID rules that, it's a 48-hour testing window for COVID, and then you can work out the player, and then you can work out the contract stuff, basically. So today should technically be the day that they can work him out, work out the contract. That's basically what we've been talking about. Is there a possibility Jalen Reagor plays week 1? Alex James. I have no clue, Alex. I would be hesitant to believe that, but boy, I would love to see it. Man, would I love for that to be a reality. Alshon's a great receiver. I don't disagree with you, Matt. My problem with Alshon has nothing to do with his game. He's a little slow for, at times. He put on a little weight last year, and I think it slowed him down a little bit, but I still believe in his talent, man. So Jalen said, let me pull this up, Jalen, because I know you know line play really well. Pryor is good if you keep things in front of him, but if you get him moving, he may be in trouble. That's why I don't think he is a tackle at all. Yeah, I tend to agree, Jalen. I mean, I would, like I said, if I had 4 to 6 weeks to work him out of tackle, I could understand the proposition because you could properly evaluate it, see if you can fix some of the flaws. But man, we're talking about right now, already coming up on week 1. I don't know, man. I'm hesitant. I'm real hesitant here on that one. We could have got Peterson for $1 million. Rob Snell. Yeah, I saw that sign. Apparently we had no interest in him. I don't work for the front office, guys. Don't hate me. I ain't got nothing to do with it, but we didn't have any interest in him. Huh. Let me pull your comment up, Jalen. I just saw that one. Whew. Guys, I got to read fast. My bad, guys. All right. Lamar Miller is a possible running back to go after if we do, but I doubt we will get a new running back soon. You think they're going to go the practice squad route, basically, Jalen? No sooner than you said that, Jalen, Wise Way said, well, Lamar Miller just got picked up by the Patriots. We've got to be quick. Got to be quicker than that. All right, Philip, let me pull your comment up, man. If we struggle outside at corner, namely due to the size disadvantage of Maddox, would we move Mills back to outside cornerback? Who would then take Mills' spot at safety? Outside cornerback scares me a bit. Yeah, Philip, that's what I was saying earlier is we have to be very careful about projecting the movement of Jalen Mills. Outside corner scares the crap out of me right now in terms of the depth. We're going to have to really bank on Craig James being able to do it. Here's the problem. You move Jalen Mills right now while you still have Will Parks down. And I fully expect that Will Parks will receive that week 3 IR designation where he can return following week 3. If something happens in the first 3 to 4 weeks, you just don't have, you don't have the depth. That's a scary proposition. My guess is that they may mess around and they might put Marcus Epps at free safety, move Rodney McLeod over to the in the box kind of role. And then I don't know. I mean, what would you do if you moved him there? I guess you'd have to play Rudy Ford too, pretty much. Maybe you play Rudy Ford. I don't know. Rudy Ford could probably play your strong, almost a 2-deep look. Then you could have Rodney McLeod down in the box. Then you would probably have Epps at free. I mean, that's probably what I would look at it in terms of the alignment. But Philip, it's a very concerning proposition too. I agree with you. Someone else said that, Howie was a little cryptic with what he said about Rasul, and that there's a chance that giving the new state of the COVID rules, and none of us really understand how they qualify, because previously Rasul Douglas would not qualify for the practice squad, but they feel like they might bring him back, and he could possibly be like one of those guys that if there's an injury or something happens, you could bring him back the following game underneath that 55-man rule. I don't know, man. There's also a chance Rasul Douglas gets claimed. I mean, I think that's a real possibility. Or someone maybe doesn't claim him, but gives him a better opportunity to actually play. Sorry, guys. JJ, I see your comments, man. I just don't have enough time, bro. Right now, there's too much going on in the chat to mess around with you Cowboy fans right now. Chris Colbert said, JP is a legend. Just pay the man. Yeah, I think that's the easiest solution. Clowney did sign with the Titans. Titans gonna have a good pass rush, but Clowney's he's a weird case, guys. He's a guy that gets a lot of pressure, but he doesn't always get sacks. Like, he's a weird one, man. Yeah, some of these things are crazy, guys. So Philip said, right on the money regarding talent evaluation of college players. No way we should have selected JJ over DK. I understand why we took Hurts, Wentz's injuries, but with a second pick, yeah, exactly, second round pick, like I questioned the value there too, but they do weird things, man. I don't even know how to explain some of the stuff that, you know what I'm saying, like they do. Hey, Cameron Holmes, if you go back into this video, I answered that question for you, buddy. Guys, I'm going to keep going for a little bit. I know we're coming up on an hour, but I didn't really get through enough of your questions yet, guys. So I'm going to keep going for a little bit more. All right. Big fish, little boat. They put too much stock into character when you have to have faith in the organization to be the building blocks for character development. Interesting take. I kind of partially agree with what you're saying. That's funny, Chris. I'm not going to give him, I'm not going to get, like, I like JJ. JJ, you know, he's always on here, man. Like, I like JJ. I'm not, but I just don't have time to go back and forth right now, man, while we got you guys asking questions. Facts over fiction. What does that have to do with anything, though? What does that have to do with anything? Whether he's made over $100 million or not, your value is your value, man. He's already giving you a discount. I just showed you it. He's giving you a discount. Right now, he is the 36th paid guard in this league. That's a discount, man. He's already given you it. Like, I just don't see how that has anything to do with anything, man. What's good, Deshaunte Dupree? JJ, you sucked me into this one. So, who people credit with sacks can be tricky. Just know this about Joe Looney. You're in trouble. 2018, you also were top 10 pressure rate offensive line, meaning you gave up a ton of pressure. De La Rock, I'll chime in a little bit for some of the stuff from JP was saying, guys. So De La Rock said, people in power always want other people to work for cheap. If not free, go get a job at a hospital sweeping floors and let them ask you to operate on a patient. Yeah, I'm not in favor of saying that because he's made $100 million, he should take a weird pay cut. Like, I don't agree with that, guys. Like, I don't personally agree with that standpoint. Like, the bottom line is that he's already been friendly to the team. He's right now he's the 36th highest paid guard. 36th. He's not even the top 32. Like, I don't buy it, guys. I don't buy it. I think that you're asking a guy to move over and play your left tackle. Look, do I agree with the way Jason Peters handled it in a public format? No. I think he should have just went in private to Howie and said, like, hey, man, look, here's the deal. I'm not going to move over to left tackle unless this happens, guys. Like, I've already given you a discount. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for that much more money, man, but come on, man. You're not being reasonable at $3 million to play left tackle. So Philip said, I'm not mad at JP for asking for a pay bump. Maybe he could have went about it differently. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too, Philip. Like, he deserves the pay bump. Like, come on, man. Like, he's the 36th highest paid guard right now. But yeah, he should have definitely gone about it differently. Should have taken that publicly. Like, he should have just gone privately to Howie. You know what I'm saying? Let Stoutland in on what he's talking about and what's going on. Saying, look, he's got to get some things, figured out with the contract stuff. Like, I think they would have all understood. What's up, Sandy? It's been a long time since I saw you, bro. How you doing, buddy? How do you feel about Glenn? So I got a video out. I've done really 2 videos on Glenn. If you go back to the video that it really has Riley Reef on the thumbnail, but it's kind of really about the options. I talk about Glenn there, and then I just did a video yesterday about him. I like him. I think Glenn would be an excellent 6-man off the bench. I think if you had to play him at left tackle, he's serviceable. He's pretty good. He's not JP, guys. I don't want to make him out to be JP's skill set. He's not to that level, but he's solid. He's a solid, serviceable player. Like, I'm just, I don't want to make him out. I don't want people to think I'm saying this guy's like the next big thing. Like, he's not. Do I think he's better than Big V at left tackle? Yes. Do I think he's better than not Dillard? Well, he is better than Dillard at left tackle. I can tell you that now. But do I think that he's better than, what Matt Pryor would be at left tackle? Yes. Mulata, yes. I think he's better than those candidates. But Sandeep, my honest opinion is the thing that makes the most sense would be to move. So to me, I would take a guy like Jason Peters, figure out this contract stuff, guys. Just front office, coaching staff, player, get together, get this crap figured out. Move on to left tackle, okay? Move who I think is a natural right guard back to right guard, okay? And then I would then come in and I would sign a guy like Cordy Glenn to be my 6-man off the bench. I think that's the most effective way of handling the situation. We all know that it's very likely, I'll say it again, guys, Jason Peters is very likely to miss snaps, if not series, if not games. And the same thing could be seen for Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson definitely caught a bit of the injury bug last year too. So, you know what I mean? Sonny, that's funny. Sonny said, I would be literally almost terrified for Wentz if Pryor started like face Chase Young in week 1. So I'll talk a little bit about scheming, the way I would scheme it and what I see from Doug and what I think Doug would do. You could slow down a pass rush, and with a young guy like Chase Young, you want to give him multiple looks to see is he so focused on rushing the passer you can get him on something. So, I mean, you definitely do that kind of stuff, guys. So, number one, the easiest way is to alleviate some of that is to run the football. No matter what I think about having a guy like, Matt Pryor out there at left tackle, you put a body in front of him and you tell him to move it. He's strong. He will move it. I definitely think establishing the run would be important. Using a lot of, pre-snap motion to give the defense a lot of different looks, right? Using a lot of shifts and motions, right? To just get those defenders and those pass rushers paying attention to what's going on, right? Jet motions, those type of things, okay? Give them that pre-snap and post-snap movement to look at, all right? Hit them with the screen game, all right? Quick timing and rhythm passes when you got to do it, and roll the pocket when you got to take your shots deep. That's how I would do it if you have to go into a game like that. And guys, I don't have a clue. I don't know what they're going to do. I would love to have access to the coaching staff to talk to them, but I don't. I really wish I did, though, man. Troy Singleton, we appreciate you, bro. Thank you, sir. He said, I love the live stream yesterday with all you guys. I'm subbed to each and every one of your channels. Appreciate you, man. Cordy Glenn is a save if you ask me if he stays healthy. Keyword if. Yes, sir. I agree there. Then we should be straight on the left tackle situation. I agree. Cordy Glenn's good enough to play left tackle if we need him to. So, all right. Look, JJ, I'll read your comment because you You did a super chat, and it would be unfair if I didn't read it because you gave a super chat. But, dude, come on, man. I'm starting to believe that you really are a closeted Eagles fan because you really are in these conversations and these group chats a lot, man. And, like, I mean, I generally like talking to you, but come on, dude. Like, every 5 minutes, really? I mean, all right, bro. All right, JJ Triller. Wentz, $2. Appreciate the super chat, man. Wentz, 60 turnovers in the last 4 years. All right, bro. Let's talk for a second, man, because we can do this. I saw your other comment about Dak. It's 37-10 win. Dak didn't win jack crap. Dak hasn't won a thing in his entire career, man. Let's talk about Dak. You want to talk about Dak? Let's talk about Dak, man. Dak versus top 10 defenses last year. 0-5 with a 55.3 QB passer rating, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Straight up pedestrian, horribly bad. Carson, same numbers, top 10 defenses, 3-2, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, 72.9 QB rating. Who's better when games matter? Carson is. Let's talk head-to-head competition. JJ Trilla, since you want to go there, let's talk about it. How did Dak play against the Eagles? Like trash. Inconsistent. All right. Dak's record in head-to-head competition versus Philly, 5-3, right? You think those 5 wins were really his? All right, with a 90-plus quarterback rating, a rating of 90 or higher, he had that in 3 out of 8 games. All right? Here's the deal. Below an 80 quarterback rating, 4 out of 8 games. Half of the games Dak Prescott has played the Eagles, by an impartial source, he has discernibly been very bad. As a matter of fact, he's had 3 out of those 8 games where it was under a 70. That's bad. Your passer rating is under 70. It's bad. Dak Prescott is highly inefficient, man. And he's up and down. 172 of 269, 63.94% completion rate in head-to-head competition. 1,877 yards, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. You're really proud of that? That's the guy you think won you those 5 games? Really? 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 All right. Carson, 3-4 versus Dallas. Okay. Beat your chest on that. Just know this. 6 out of 7 games, he had a passer rating above a 90. 3 out of 7 games, he had it above 100. In all 7 out of 7 games, Carson Wentz has had a passer rating of 80 or better against the Cowboys. Carson's numbers, 174 of 255, 68.33% completion rate, 1,713 yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Get out of here, bro. Dak's not on Carson's level. As a matter of fact, I could keep going and I could bury this conversation. I mean, it's just a ridiculous conversation to have because Dak doesn't show up when you need him to show up. Fourth quarter of games, I'm going to give you Dak Prescott in 1 quarter. This is Dak Prescott in 1 quarter. This is why I don't trust him. This is why the Cowboys haven't paid him. This is why the Cowboys don't trust him. Fourth quarter of games, Dak Prescott, 365 of 571, 63.92% completion rate, 4,445 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Seems like a good stat line, doesn't it? Okay. Might you be eating on cupcakes in games where it doesn't matter? Because let's filter that by when the game is on the line and you need Dak Prescott to win the game for you. All right. Dak Prescott. Okay. If you take the trailing with 4 minutes, take the trailing with 2 minutes, and just say trailing in games with 4 minutes or less left, how did Dak Prescott do? 121 of 246, 49% completion rate, 1,409 yards, 3 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. That's the dude that you think you got confidence in. He's trash, man. He's straight trash. He's trash. Carson, by comparison, I'll give you those same numbers, okay? When trailing in the fourth quarter, 160 of 285, 56% completion rate. 1,862 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Okay? Really? Really? This is the guy you're trying to bring these comparisons with? Come on, man. This is nonsense. This is nonsense if you know it. Dak Prescott last year had 7 games where he passed for 300 yards. You had a losing record. You were 3-4 in those games. The 3 teams you beat, the Giants in week 1, Detroit towards the middle of the year, and then the Washington Redskins in week 17. In those games, you lost to Green Bay, Minnesota, Buffalo, and Chicago. Dak is whack. He's trash, man. You just got to know how to look at this stuff. Anyone who really knows the numbers knows that Dak is he's living off the laurels of other people. He's living off other people's laurels and their accomplishments. He himself hasn't accomplished jack crap. Hey, sorry, guys. I just saw a $20 donation. Let me go up here, guys. I'm trying to get to it. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Spike23, what's good, guy? How you doing, man? Keep up the good work. Do you think this team is built for a long playoff run? I like what Doug has put together. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I mean, if health is all considered and stays consistent, sure. I definitely think Spike23 that we could have a long playoff run. But we've got to find a way of keeping our health. We lose certain guys, I think we're in trouble. Sorry, guys. Let me go back up and find some of y'all's comments. All right. Victory said, what do you think about Howie alluding to saying JP wasn't a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle anymore? Yeah, I mean, come on. A little tongue-in-cheek with it, man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he may not be a Pro Bowl caliber, but he's still pretty good. And I don't think he's being unreasonable in terms of what he's asking. Deshante Dupree said, have a blessed day, everyone. Appreciate Deshante Dupree. Good lookout, Gate City Sports. Keep grinding. Appreciate you, bro. Ryan Casasas said, sorry if I just butchered your last name, Ryan. He said, JJ, Wentz has less picks and has thrown the ball more times. Yes. Ryan, thank you for bringing that up. I was trying to save that for other content creators that are, Cowboy content creators, but a lot of people like to look at the games, but then lose sight of the attempts. That was a really good question, Ryan. Let me go back to it. Sorry, man. So Ryan said, will we see Hurts on the field in week 1? Great question, Ryan, because here's what it comes down to. You kept 3 quarterbacks on this roster. Are you going to really activate 3 quarterbacks for a game? That's a good question, man. I don't know. My gut instinct would be probably not. But if you're having a bunch of O-line issues, maybe so. Well, I guess we'll see. Lord Blue Eyes said, who were your 5 most surprising cuts? Ooh. Elijah Holyfield caught me by surprise. I thought we'd keep 4 running backs. It's not that surprising in the grand scheme of things and seeing the way they laid it out, but judging from the way I projected my roster, that one caught me. Let me think. I don't know that I would say Noah Tiogu, or however you say his name. I don't know. I'd say he was a surprise cut, but I thought he had a genuine chance to make the roster, even though I didn't put him on mine. Prince Tega could be viewed as kind of a surprise. Like, I mean, even the Eagles put Mulatto on in 2018. Like, seems weird that Prince Tega didn't. Prince Tega is not quite as much of a project as Mulatto was, but let me see. Surprise cuts. You could say Rasul Douglas. I thought Rasul Douglas made sense as a deep roster guy because he can play special teams. Am I overly shocked that they cut him? No. Am I shocked that we cut him in lieu of the fact that we didn't really address this you could say we made the trade for Darius Slay, but we didn't address it to the full extent I thought we would. We got Nickel Roby-Coleman, we got Darius Slay, of course, but you would think that we would have also brought in someone to start beside him if we were going to do this. We didn't do that. Or a depth guy. So we didn't just address it really in free agency or the draft. So that kind of, I can see that being surprising. Joe Osman is surprising to me. I thought Joe Osman deserved to be on the roster, especially given Jannard Avery not really outperforming him in camp and then having the injury. I thought Joe Osman made a lot of sense, but, in the words of G-Eazy, I guess these things happen, right? Sam the Artist. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, Ari, about Lamar Miller being released. I don't know, man. 220-pound back. I think Jalen was saying that, he makes a little sense here too, but I guess we'd have to see. What's good, Romy? One more. How you doing, man? I see the super chat, guys. I'm getting to it. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling down. Like, there's a lot of comments, bro. So I'm trying to keep up, guys. Like, all right, Jade Kills. What's going on, buddy? All right, Jay Kill said, if Carson, first off, thank you for the super chat, man. If Carson doesn't end the season healthy, is it time to move on? Oh, wow. Depends on what it is, Jay Kills. I mean, look, if it's a minor injury, maybe not. If this is another major miss, 4, 5, 6 games, you end the season, you don't play, like, contractually, I don't think you can move on necessarily next year just because of the situation we find ourselves in. But would it be prudent for the Eagles to maybe think of an exit strategy? Yes, definitely. Sorry, guys. Let me go back up and try. I'll try to read some more. Jalen, I missed your super chat, didn't I, man? My bad. Jalen said, Dak Eagles 67 turnovers in 4 years, fumbles plus interceptions. Eye emoji. Hey, Jalen, so you figured out that you could do math too, right? Wow. Something these Cowboy fans never put together, huh? Eagles man 886 with the $2 super chat, man. I appreciate you, buddy. Guys, if I am missing super chats, somebody please let me know, because I just noticed those 2 super chats and now I'm like nervous, like, have I missed a bunch of them? Because they didn't even come across the top of the screen, guys, and that's kind of messed up. I don't want to be missing super chats. All right, let me go down a little bit, guys. Sonny said, man, is Dak even signed, bro? Bobby Murray said 1-6 against teams with a 500 record. Brad Wright said, Cal fans don't think Dak is better. They just like him better. Yeah, pretty much. Dak will be a Chicago Bear next year from Drew. Sonny said, I'm sorry. Isn't one of those quarterbacks already extended while the other one has to prove himself this year? Might I add again, Sonny? Again? Sandeep said, stop feeding facts to these Cowboy fans. They can't handle the truth. Hey, look, Troy. Yeah, I mean, JJ really is on everyone's channel, but I mean, shout out to him. He tries to battle. He tries to battle, man. In the South, we got the saying says, bless your heart. Lenny D said, that's not accurate because his rookie year, he played all 16. And this past season, he played all 16. So at some point, you got to check your research, my guy. Anytime I hear someone say my guy, it always makes me laugh, guys, because I've left, I left the Philadelphia area when I was younger. I was like in middle school when I left. And I only really hear like those type of expressions when I'm talking to people who still live in the area, like my cousins and like my sister, some other people that still live in that area. Like they'll say stuff like that. But like down in the South, everybody's cuz. But like you always get a lot of my guys here from this area. It's always funny to me. Philly Fan D said, ouch. Bobby, let me pull this one up, Bobby. This one's worth pulling up. Bobby said, pay overrated Dak his 40 plus million per season, Jerry. Exactly. Kind of ends the whole conversation, right? If you believe in Dak, where's his contract? Brad said, those stats just go in one cow ear and come out the other ear. It never hits the brain. Yeah, Spike said, health is big. Thanks. No problem, man. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, Sonny, it's hard to talk facts to these guys, man. Philip Lewis said, Cowboy fans out here thinking Dak is their king. That lemon booty is real against good defenses. I would listen to that nonsense if you talked about Zeke as much as y'all praise that mediocre quarterback. Yeah, exactly. Listen, the fact B is that Zeke Elliott he's a good player. I won't take that from Zeke. Lenny D, I agree with you, sir. He said, call a spade a spade. Dak was stat padding last season. Games were over, and he started getting all them yards. Games were over early. Teams started putting fans on the field to play. Is an incentive program? Yeah, guys, game 1's coming up. We are 7 days away from NFL action. That's crazy to me to think. We're already to that extent. Like already. I'm excited the most about Quez Watkins and John Hightower and Kavon Wallace. Lenny D, I like all those guys you just named. Lord Blue Eyes, thanks for answering my question. Much love and love your tape breakdowns. Great content. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you tuning in and leaving a comment, man. If you guys aren't leaving comments, it's just me here talking to myself. And, my family starts to think weirdly of me if I do that. Let Mulata play running back. I don't know about that one, guys. Vic3 with the super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. He said, great chat. Appreciate you, Gay City. Dallas fans going hard for a quarterback. They won't even be there next year. Exactly. Man, Andy Dalton might be their quarterback by the end of this season. Mike, did I miss one of your super chats, bro? If I did, I'm sorry, man. $2020 Vision. What's good, man? How you doing, buddy? What up, Steven? My guy blowing up in here. 107 people in here. Only 38 likes. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man. There's a lot of attention. I also think it's got something to do with the fact that we're 7 days away from week 1. I think that plays a really big, part in it. Really? Bonnie J, I'm gonna give you your attention, bro. I'll give you your attention. Laugh my ass off. It's embarrassing. Y'all have to block me and delete my comments because y'all getting cooked. Well, be careful what you say, bro. If you're just talking football, nobody's gonna block you. Talking some crazy stuff, you gonna get yourself blocked. Y'all soft, just like y'all's team. I'm out. Y'all got schooled. We got schooled. We beat you with the practice team. Your team is so soft they were pulling themselves out of games. Who's soft again? Come on, bro. You better be self-aware, sir. You lack self-awareness. What we got here? Philip said, Kayvon Wallace is very intriguing with his ability to play in the box. I'm curious about when he would be able to contribute in the secondary. The loss of an offseason hurt his progression. Yeah, absolutely. The loss of an offseason probably derailed him a little bit, and that kind of sucks, man. Definitely. Give him a couple of weeks in the system, a couple of weeks in game experience, and I think you'll see him start. You'll start noticing him on the field. Eagles man 866, appreciate the super chat guy. He said, should we go back and get Killins? He's already in the building. I think he's going to be signed on the practice squad. Eagles man 866. I think that's already going to happen. So, all right, James McFadden said, why do the Eagles front office think they are the smartest guys in the room when it's come to the draft, and they are always picking off the wall players? Start focus on SEC, Big 10, ACC, and Big 12. It's hard, man. I think they get it right at certain positions, and I think they get it really wrong at the skill positions. What happened in 2017 at running back? What happened in 2019 at receiver? I think it did them a lot of good to bring in former players. Now we got former players to really help them and guide them a little bit with the evaluation. No, I read a super chat 2020. Eagles man 2020 or 866. Did I miss this one, man? Oh, yeah. No, I said, yeah. We should definitely. He's already back in the building. Eagles man 866. Sorry if I missed your other one, buddy. I apologize. We can beat y'all with Andy Dalton. He'll put Joe Flacco back there, and we sweeping y'all. Really? Okay. Keep that same confidence. Keep that same confidence because we beat you with the practice squad. In the South, we have a saying, who is the fool or the man who argues with the fool? Stop arguing with these Cowboys. his family. I believe our O-line will cost us some games because there haven't been together, no time to gel. But you could say that league-wide, though, Troy. I think everyone's going to deal with that a little bit. I think it'll come down to the scheme. What teams are going to adjust the quickest and tailor their scheme to make up for the continuity that needs to form on the offensive line? At 100%, man. Lenny D, that was funny, man. That was a good comeback, bro. Good point. I just saw somebody put something in there that was a very good point, man. This is a very good point. The Cowboys gave it. So Try Vegas 100. What's good, guy? He said the Cowboys gave up. They were defeated before the game was over. They lost to practice squad players. The last time I saw Wentz playing Dallas, by the way, I saw your comment, guy. Not you, Try Vegas, the other dude. Yeah, last time I saw him, he was whipping your ass with practice squad players. That last time I saw him. Say less, I'll let it slide with your hail to the team with no name. What's good, Eric R? It's all good, bro. If Tony Romo had Dak's O-line, it would have been a problem. Yeah, probably. Sweeping us with that defense, exactly. Exactly. Ooh, Tyogai was claimed off of waivers, Vic. Ooh, that sucks. And he got claimed by the Colts, which really sucks since they're going to run a similar offensive concept to us. Yeah, Jesus. Damn, Vic. That's bad news, bro. That is bad news. He was definitely one I could have seen coming back. I mean, maybe Joshua Perkins can recover for the end of the season. I mean, he's a guy that I thought he played good last year. I mean, but yeah, that one, out of all the people to be claimed, that's who got claimed. Some of this stuff is really unpredictable. That's really interesting. That's who got claimed, guys. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off so other Eagles content creators get a chance to put up some content, guys. Because we claimed a running back, Jason Huntley. All right, I'm going to stay on for a little longer. We claimed a running back, Jason Huntley. That's pretty big news. I didn't think, honestly, Jalen, I didn't think we were going to claim anybody at running back. I really didn't. He was a draft pick, though, right? But he's a little guy. Jeez. I don't know that he helps with anything. He's a little guy. It's like 5'9", 200 pounds, 194-ish. That's not who I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off of here, man. Let me digest this. Videos will be coming up, guys. Let me do some announcements before I jump off too far. Videos will definitely be coming up every day this week. I'll do a film study for you guys about the Redskins. Well, they're not the Redskins, whatever they're called now. I'll talk a little bit about what I see from them, their offense. I got a little familiarity with this coaching staff in Washington because obviously I live in North Carolina. I get a chance to see Panthers games. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll definitely do some film breakdown and show you some of the concepts they'd like to run. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all, man. Eric, I agree. We need old linemen. I'm right there with you. We'll see what happens, guys. If news keeps breaking, I'll make some videos today as well. We'll see what happens. Like, this is already kind of tempting me to make another video because that's big news, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here, man. You know how to end these videos. This is just for you, JJ. And what's my other guy's name? Hold up. Bobby Murphy. What's the other dude's name? I can't remember the guy's name, bro. There's so many of them that come in here so often, guys. I can't even keep up with their names. I don't know. You're the Cowboys, dude. I don't even want to go back and look at your name. This is for y'all, man. This is how we close our videos here. EAG. Hey, just be glad you ain't got fans in the stand, Dallas, because you be hearing that all game, bro. All right, guys. Later. Peace. I'm out. This is always the awkward part, guys, hitting the end broadcast and waiting.